Do you have a big birthday or another celebration coming up? If so, I have 10 ideas for a fantastic trip for you. Hi, I'm Stephanie, aka The Viatrix. Welcome to my channel. It's Travel Tuesday, which means we are talking all things travel. I'm going to answer a Q&A for you today, and make sure you stay to the end because I've got an extra bonus that I think you're really going to like. So today's question comes from Elisa, who has a 40th birthday coming up, and she wanted some recommendations for where to travel to celebrate her birthday in the US or Canada. It's a great question because there are obviously a ton of options, but I've narrowed it down to 10 that I think will be a lot of fun, celebratory, interesting, and just a great way to celebrate a birthday. I've broken the list into long weekends and longer trips to keep it organized, so let's get started with the long weekends. All right, first on my list is New York City. Now, this might feel like an obvious choice, but if you've never been or if you haven't been in a while, I think this is a perfect place to celebrate a birthday. I think it's great for any kind of group, whether you're traveling solo, whether you're with a partner, or maybe family members, group of friends. And I also think it's perfect because there's something for everybody there. No matter what your interests are, you can find something for you in New York. It has tons of energy, so it definitely feels celebratory, and there are lots of ways that you can make it feel special, like getting a reservation at a top restaurant, getting theater tickets, staying at a swanky hotel, upscale shopping. There's tons of options, and it's a great place to treat yourself. Next up is Napa Valley in California, which I think would be perfect for a group of friends or possibly with a partner, significant other. I think this is a great birthday option because obviously you have all the wine, so you could kind of just make it a party. Why not? But it also offers a lot. There's cute towns, there's beautiful scenery. You can make it active and do some hiking or biking between the vineyards if you want. Tons of award-winning restaurants, so great for celebratory meals. Also lots of luxury hotel options, so you can really make it special. Number 3 on my list is New Orleans, which is one of my all-time favorite cities in the US. Again, if you've never been, you've got to go. Similar to New York, there's something for everyone, and it just has a great energy. I was there last year for a foodie girls trip, and we had so much fun. We did a cooking class, we did a food tour, we learned all about cocktails, which originated there. We drank a lot, we ate a lot, great restaurants. We also, of course, explored the music scene. We even did a ghost tour, so we just had the best time. And if you want to party, you can definitely party in New Orleans. It's always a party in New Orleans, so a really fun place for a birthday. This is another destination that I think could work with just about any kind of group, whether you're traveling with a partner or family. I think it could be particularly fun with a group of friends, so lots of options there. Next on my list is Santa Fe. It's been a long time since I've been to Santa Fe, and it has been at the top of my list of cities to get back to soon. And the reason is that, again, I think it ticks a lot of the boxes. It has a great food scene, amazing history again. There's a renowned arts and crafts scene there. You can visit Georgia O'Keeffe's home. Amazing folk art and craft shopping. You can also get outside of the city if you want some nature and get into the Badlands or the mountains for incredible hiking. You can visit the pueblos as an excursion and really get a feel for the local culture. I think that Santa Fe would be particularly great for a trip with a significant other or maybe with a close friend who has shared interests. Could also be good for a solo trip depending on what you're into. Okay, number 5 on my list is Seattle. Now, I know I'm biased because it's where I'm from originally, it's where I grew up, but objectively, I think it's a fantastic city. And it has been named top city to visit in the US on multiple lists several times over the years. But it's really beautiful, especially in the summer. It's so green, there's water everywhere, and there really is a ton to do if you're visiting. We took some friends a couple years ago who had never been before, and they agreed that it was definitely a worthwhile destination. and we just had so much fun. We visited the market, we took a ferry ride, we explored the waterfront, we took a day excursion to Mount Rainier for some hiking and beautiful scenery one day. We went up the Space Needle and did the Chihuly Museum. The weather tends to be great in the summertime, especially late summer into September. It's a perfect time to visit. There's cool neighborhoods, great restaurant and bar scene, especially up in Capitol Hill District. There are also some great museums and the Olympic Sculpture Park if you are interested in art. And there's even nature and hiking right in the city if you want that as well. This is another place that I think would be a lot of fun for any kind of group or solo trip. And to sneak in an extra little bonus idea, Vancouver, I would say, is kind of the Canadian equivalent of Seattle, a fantastic city also. So if you wanted to get out of the country, I would definitely recommend Vancouver as well. They also combine easily. And speaking of Canada, my next recommendation is Quebec City. So I haven't actually been here. I do always like to throw in somewhere that's been on my radar, but I know people who've been recently and have just raved about it. I think this would be a top spot for a 40th birthday because it feels like Europe and you don't even have to leave North America. They speak French. It has a long history. It's UNESCO listed, in fact. It has city walls. It has a chateau. There's a waterfall near the city that you can visit if you want a little bit of nature. It's also got a food scene. You might be noticing a theme here. You'll probably be noticing that as a big theme on this channel. There are great museums too. I think this would be a really cool option. And similar to Santa Fe, I think it would be perfect with a significant other or with a like-minded friend. Okay, so my last suggestion for a long weekend would be to stay at an all-inclusive luxury resort where everything's taken care of for you. You kind of just roll up and relax, and they take care of the food and the activities and everything else. This is a particularly popular option for a group of friends, and I'm actually doing this in a couple of weeks. I have a friend who's celebrating her 40th with an all-inclusive resort stay, and I'm really excited about it. I'll definitely be vlogging about it, so stay tuned for that. But I also think that this would be great if you want something a little bit more romantic with a significant other, or if you want to kind of get away and escape by yourself. I think it could be great for that too. Get some spa appointments, sit by the pool. Sounds fantastic. In the interest of time, I'm not going to list specific places here, but I am going to put them in the blog post that accompanies this video, so make sure you check that out and I'll link it in the description box below. And while you're at it, give me a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more travel videos every week. Okay, so for anyone who has longer to travel, I have a few ideas if you want maybe a week-long trip, something a little bit more extra. So the first one is Hawaii. And if you haven't been, again, I know some people kind of poo-poo it. They think it's not worth going that far, but I totally disagree. It's, again, one of my favorite places. I've also been there many, many times. I know it really well. I think it's really incredible. You can just do a relaxing resort stay, but I don't think that that's the best use of a trip to Hawaii. It is far away, so I really recommend getting out, getting in touch with the local culture, seeing the incredible scenery, getting active. Of course, there's the beaches as well. That's a huge part of the experience, but I believe that it's so much more. I think that if you've never been to Hawaii and you want something that feels a little bit more exotic, but without needing a passport, Hawaii would be awesome. I've done Hawaii with my husband. I've done it multiple times with friends. I've done it with family. It really works for any kind of trip. So I think for a lot of people, a big birthday, and especially a 40th birthday, can be kind of a contemplative time that you might want to reflect. And if that's the case, I would suggest a national park visit. I actually have a whole video coming up about national parks, so stay tuned for that. But I think this would be great because you're out in nature and you can have some quiet time with yourself or with a partner to just disconnect and be active and reflect a little bit, which I think is a really nice way to celebrate a birthday. I have a friend who actually just spent her 40th last month in Joshua Tree, And she combined it with LA, which I think is kind of a great best of both worlds combination. Again, I'll put some more ideas in the accompanying blog post to keep this from getting too long. Okay, last but not least, and kind of related to national parks, and that's a road trip. I love a road trip. I'm a West Coast girl. Get me in that car, get me some scenery, and I am a happy camper. So now this is one where you're going to want to think about who you're traveling with or whether you're traveling solo. A solo road trip might sound great to you. Again, kind of contemplative, a way to disconnect, catch up on all your audiobooks and podcasts. Or it might sound awful. It is tiring to drive by yourself for hours. Otherwise, I think this would be best for a trip with a partner or a fun friend, Thelma and Louise style. Okay, so I promised you a bonus. I know that deciding where to take a trip can be so difficult, and I've talked many clients through this over the years. So I've put together a guide for you to help you figure out where you want to travel if none of these places speak to you, or if you're planning a totally different kind of trip and you just need some advice to help you figure out, how do I even get my head around this? Check out the link in the description box below. It's totally free, and I think it's going to be really helpful. So I hope these ideas gave you some inspiration, and I hope you'll leave a comment below to inspire people with your own birthday trip ideas. Have you been somewhere for a birthday? How was it? Do you have somewhere on your wish list? Let us know so we can all get inspired for our next big trips. And with that, I will say ciao for now, and I'll see you next week for another Travel Tuesday.